All right, so today's going to be a series of short trips. I already know part of my answer, but I like to back it up with facts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all establish from the activity center, which is only a mile from my house, how far away is park and ride, and then start establishing like Brookshire Brothers, low market, that kind of stuff. Make sure I know what I'm talking about when I talk about distance and energy. I mean, I already know the basic answer is you're going to charge $1 a trip. But can I do it? And that part I don't know. And it's not even that. It's not the energy. It's really about the overall expense. Okay, whatever. Peace and Army. Let's get to it. This may be a long one, but it's going to be full of short clips like this. All right, 3 miles, 8 minutes, 301 watt hours per mile. Yes. Oh, it's always a good idea to climb up hills. Yeah. Okay, whatever, peace and harmony. It is what it is. Interestingly enough, it chose to stop on the Thunderbird side of the building for the city hall, as opposed to coming up to the front in the parking lot where you go in the front door. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why we would stop. And there are parking spaces, and we stopped in the parking spaces. Anyway, whatever, peace and harmony. Onward, upward. Well, there you go. To some extent, this is the benchmark I'm competing against. What? Okay, I mean, that's just it. Cap Metro runs these pickup vans, cost $1 and a quarter. Although, interestingly enough, kids are free, so I don't know. I don't know how that works. But there's the benchmark for how we're starting out on this whole trip. Okay, so since this is a Sunday, what I'll do is start establishing routes to the various schools in the area. Let's start with the high school. What do you say? Okay, here we are at the guest entrance for the Lago Vista High School. 2 miles, 4 minutes, 242 watt hours per mile. So we're starting to come down now that it's warmed up. Okay, there you go. It wanted to come in the north entrance to the property as opposed to the south entrance to the property. So at least from a school bus driver perspective, we try to say you should be coming in the south entrance and driving up. And that means your passenger door is facing the high school. But whatever. 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. Doesn't matter. Okay, and an interesting little trip out to the high school. So I'm used to going in the south entrance. That way you're coming up to the high school the high school front door. Oh, that's not where parent drop-off is, so we're gonna have to look at that if we're gonna do cyber cab for that. Okay, whatever, just playing for the moment. When we came up to the light for Dawn, the light was about to turn red, and the car had already run over the stop line. Even though it wasn't clear, the intersection was not clear for him to enter it, he rolled over the stop line, brake on this, off, had to stop him there. But, you know, that's little stuff that happens from time to time. Anyway, onward, upward. Next up, Mddle School. All right, Lago Vista Mddle School, more or less. 3 miles, 7 minutes, 225 watt hours per mile. Now that I'm warming up, the energy's getting better. Yes, the front door of the Mddle School is actually back over my left shoulder a little bit, but not far away. So, navigation doesn't have a good stopping point for it, but there we are. The trip over was fine, no problems. So there you go. All right, that was much further than I expected it would be. Wow. So 12 miles, 32 minutes, 200 watt hours per mile. I'm not sure when I reset it, so I'm not sure I can really count any of it. But so I'm at the Lakeside Pool, interestingly enough, which I kind of see as it's not really center to the Lakeside community. but it is a spot in the Lakeside community, so I'm trying to find a spot to make a judgment from. I guess this is where I'm going to start from. Yes, sirree, Bob. So it's not really FSD related, but there was a motorcycle guy who came up and he's like playing like Mad Max motorcycle type guy. I don't know. I mean, why are you getting close to me? Okay. And I'm going, what? And so I'm about to make a left turn, so brake and move over left. Sure enough, he follows me. But wait, where is he going when he follows me? He's making a U-turn. He doesn't even know where he's going. Why are you following me if you don't even know where you're going? Okay, whatever. Peace and harmony. Okay, so this is at least a place to start off thinking about meeting points. So that's what that's what I'm trying to do, establish where a possible meeting point would be. Obviously, in this neighborhood, well, you can't really see it from here, but they have paved streets, so there's no reason not to pick up somebody at their house. It's just trying to establish where all the houses are. So I'm kind of following along the lines of what Cap Metro does. They basically said, this is the boundaries of the community we serve, okay? And part of that's tax purposes, I guess, but whatever. It is what it is. But it's no reason not to provide support to these guys. It's just, if they're burning another kilowatt hour, that's more energy is being burned. But we'll work on it. Okay, just a quick little look. Here's what's in the neighborhood. I don't know. I have a feeling, what's 5? 5 is the playground. I thought I was at the playground. Okay, where's the pool? Pool's at 4. Okay. Oh, okay. So this thing up here is the parking lot. Okay, got it. Okay, makes sense. At least it's a starting point. All right, welcome back to Lago Vista Park and Ride. So that was a interesting trip. So it's just 7 miles. Okay, 7 miles, 13 minutes, 280 watt hours per mile. I know to come out from the pool, you have to go uphill. Although it wasn't very sharp hill, it's still a hill. Other than that, that's fine. Basically 2 kilowatt hours. And yeah, it probably didn't quite use all of the 2 kilowatt hours, but close enough for government work and close enough for what we're trying to document here. So there you go. I know at times that intersection from Tessera Parkway to 1431 can be tricky. Or I guess from 1431 turning left onto Tessera Parkway. But okay, I mean, starting with the pool area, there's a place there you can go pick up people, drop them off. That part works. Beautiful. And actually, even if it is 2 kilowatt hours, so what, 22 cents? Not going to hurt anything, is it? All right. We're at the Venture POA office. There's several different buildings here, so I'm not sure which one's which. Anyway, 7 miles, 14 minutes, 171 watt hours per mile. Wow. And we used 1 kilowatt hour for 7 miles? All right, so Venture is admittedly kind of downhill from Lago Vista. So I'm sure I'll use more energy going back, but there it is. 7 miles, 14 minutes. Wow. So totally doable. I didn't really pick the POA office. It just turns out it's here. What I was really looking for was the restaurant, which is down at the marina, although I'm not even sure if it's in action at the moment. But there you go. Just, as I said, it's just trying to document what we got and going from there. Oh, he has a temporary tag. Wait, what did I say we were at? 209? Is that the number? We're at 212 coming back. So there wasn't much difference. I mean, there was a slight uphill gain, but not really much. 3 kilowatt hours total trip. Okay, whatever. I kind of set my expectations. I'm still playing with the idea that Lakeside and Point Venture should get an extra charge. I don't know, an extra 20 cents, whatever it is. Just because it is going to use more energy. There's no doubt about it. Right? And if I'm looking at the round trip for what I'm doing, round trip for the car, not for you as the customer, but for the car, right? That's where you pay an extra 20 cents just for me to go down to Point Venture or to Lakeside. And then there's a whole nother group of people I haven't even looked at. And who are those? Like Destination Way, that whole group in there. And of course, when you go to Point Venture, you're going by all these sort of communities, if you want to call them that. Places where people have built houses. And I'm not even thinking about, I'm thinking about it, but how do you get there? Okay, whatever, peace and harmony. All right, so what do you think's happened today? I'm in the Model 3 today, not the Model Y. But they're using the same FSD. No turn signal. Ah, okay, but he did it anyway. Okay. So I'm pushing it to see what it will do. No. Okay. Okay, so I didn't reset it at the park and ride, but I ended up with 18 miles, 44 minutes, 196 watt hours per mile. So actually that back way turned out to be more efficient, energy-wise anyway. Well, I mean, maybe saying that wrong. Okay, whatever. But it was 4 miles, 1 kilowatt. It was 4 miles. Your estimate was 7. FSD, your estimate was 7 miles. I did it in 4 miles. Following my back way, which should have been acceptable to you, and you've done it before in the other way, but whatever. The total average energy was 135 watt hours per mile. Holy cow. Yeah, I'd much rather come up Rock Terrace than Rock Wood. Okay, whatever. Peace and harmony. So what did we learn today, Ray? Well, we learned that Lakeside and Point Venture, as expected, are just far enough that you might want to consider adding a surcharge. Okay? Not to be mean to them, it's additional energy cost. That's all it is. Okay? But it's kind of right on that border of, you could just wash it, or you could just charge them extra. Well, you charge them 10 cents extra. Actually, that'd probably be more fair. So, around Lago Vista, $1. Go to Point Venture or Lakeside, it's $1.10. Now, for those who, but that's not fair. Okay, tell me how much your Cap Metro cost is. What's that? I can't hear you. Yes, you're not served by Cap Metro. So at least I'm giving you service. I'm just penalizing you 10 extra cents. And that's based upon the fact that I'm using more or less an extra kilowatt hour, which cost me 11 cents. Okay? So we learned that part. Driving around Lago Vista, well, so park and ride, apparently there's not, or at least Tesla navigation doesn't know where it is. For City Hall, it stops on the Thunderbird side of the building, which is where a lot of the employees apparently park. So that's not gonna work there. On the other hand, you could use the Veterans Memorial as a place, as opposed to park and ride. Right? It's just different sides of the coin. So that works. Time-wise, we're looking at anywhere around 5 to 8 minutes, and 14 minutes for Lakeside and Point Venture. That's one way, so you'd have to double that for the round trip. But if you call the cab, so what I'm basically doing is saying that if you call the cab from my house using park and ride, is that what I'm doing? Okay, no. Okay. Using the park and ride as the base for estimation, it'll take the car about 8 minutes to get up there. And it's going to burn about 1 kilowatt hour. Okay? So right away, there's 1 kilowatt hour. Going to the high school and middle school, and, using that as a basis for anywhere else you go in town, it's all going to be a wash. So I need 8 minutes to get up to the park and ride, and then wherever you're based from, it'll take even more time. But let's say it's 8 and 8, 16. Let's say it's 15 minutes. So about 15 minutes from the time you call, a taxi could be there from my house, roughly. Okay. Now, if you're out at Lakeside or Point Venture, we're going to have to add another 15 minutes on top of that. That's just to get to your place. But you kind of know that. You're kind of out there. Right? I mean, people know, it's further out. It's going to take longer. So there's the basis of the estimation. Now, I started out with, well, let's go to all these various places and see what it is. But by the time I went to the high school and middle school, I felt like I already established enough to know what I'm talking about. Is it completely accurate? No, but it's all an estimation anyway. Until you run that route several times, you don't know for sure what's going to happen. And even if you run it several times, you only have basis for estimation. You don't know what's going to happen in every case. Okay, so there's that. But whatever, it works. Now the other part is, you could have a car just return to Veterans Memorial and park there, and just be available more centrally, because I'm not south Lago Vista, but I am south. Okay, I mean, yes, you go further south, about a mile away is the lake, right? So I'm not at the lake, so I'm not all the way down there, but I'm also west, so it takes a while to get there. If I base a vehicle out of Veterans Memorial, then it's always available to go and get to a person faster. The question is, will I have that kind of business? I don't know. I do think charging $1 per trip would work to have a base level of business, but I'm looking at something like 25 to 30 trips a day to start reaching the total cost of running. And by total cost, I mean including the capitalization of the cars, or however you want to say that. I'm probably not saying quite right for you CPA type people, but whatever. I think you know what I mean. Somehow you got to be, this car won't last forever, so you have to have a basis for bringing money in to replace it when that time comes. Or, like, when I was up there, Cap Metro had 4 trip buses there. They started with just 2. They now have 4. And they probably want to have more. They just, you only get so many at a time. Okay, so Cap Metro is already has enough business for 4 trip buses. And if I come in and undercut them 25 cents a ride, then that means I'm going to have enough fleet to handle that kind of load. Not that I don't expect this to start off. I mean, most people don't even think this way. People drive their golf carts around the community. Kids are riding their scooters, electric scooters, right? So, skateboards, right? So people are somewhat used to that. So the idea of paying $1 to, say, take you to the high school and paying another $1 to bring you home from the high school might not be what people are thinking about. On the other hand, part of what I'm doing is establishing, well, how much is it going to cost to just use gasoline? Forget about all the rest of it. How much is it going to cost you to run the gasoline? Let alone having to pay for a car. Okay, whatever. Peace and harmony. Yes, let me think about it some more. Reflect on what I got. But actually, no. I'll go back and reflect on it more. I'm building what you might call the basis for a business plan. Right? I don't know how people think in terms of, well, I'm going to run a taxi. I mean, wow, or an Uber cab. I don't know if they're not thinking about it. I don't know. The costs are so big. And I know Uber does a fairly good job of trying to orient and train you as a driver for them what it means to be driving this. So we'll see. I'm doing self-training, so to speak, but until Tesla actually announces what kind of support I get, I don't know. Okay? Peace and harmony. This is already a long video. Let's stop it right there and we'll go forward. Yes, sirree, bye.